Hi, my name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use your cleanser, vitamin C serum and moisturizer. Now at first we are looking into an example skincare routine that I have prepared for you in PowerPoint slides so that you have a better understanding of the order of application. And then later on we are going to put this into practice so that you can see it visually, have an overall general guide of how much you need to use and what's important to do in between. Now, when working with your vitamin C, you can use it in the morning and or evening, so it can be used once or twice per day, daily. And the order of application would look the following. You're starting off with your cleansing step to properly remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, and in the evening even sunscreen as well as your makeup, so that you have a freshly washed and clean face. Generally speaking, if you do not have sensitive skin, you can work with any cleanser. This can be a gentle cleanser or an exfoliating acid cleanser. However, if you do have sensitive skin, then please do not use or work with real low pH cleansers, as you can see right here. Those are below 4, because this can cause irritation. Once you're done with your cleansing step, you're moving on to your vitamin C serum. Now, if you're working with a vitamin C derivative, those are very gentle on the skin, usually do not cause any issues. However, if you have an ascorbic acid serum and it contains more than 15% of ascorbic acid, as well as maybe has a low pH, if it is a water-based serum, well, those again can be troublemakers if you have sensitive skin in general. And so if you would combine your low pH exfoliating acid cleanser with your low pH and higher percentage of vitamin C, this can become quite uncomfortable. So please keep those factors in mind so that you're not going to irritate your skin in any way. Once you're done with the application of your vitamin C serum, you can give it a moment, like 1 or 2 minutes in between, maybe a bit longer depending on the formulation, before you're moving on to your moisturizing step. And then this is going to be the last step in the evening, but during daytime, please don't forget to follow with sunscreen afterwards. So this would be the order of application. You will find the example skincare routine and the additional information in the description box down below if you want to go over it in your own time. Now, I want to keep my focus on the actual application so that you can see it visually. I have the setup right here in front of me with the cleansing step, the vitamin C, and then my moisturizer. This is my main focus. So again, when working with an ascorbic acid serum or vitamin C derivative, please make sure that you understand the difference and what it can potentially do depending on your skin, like sensitivity in general. So therefore, I'm going to keep it as user-friendly as possible. I'm going to work with a gentle cleanser, which is in this example Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser, which is great for a combination to oily skin. If you have a different cleanser, you have a different skin type, of course, go ahead and exchange it. Just make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. You can wash your face above the sink or take the cleanser with you in the shower. Either way is fine, just make sure to properly remove everything from the skin. In this example, it is advised to apply the cleanser on wet skin, so I'm going to use lukewarm water to warm water to wet the skin. Then I'm using about a coin size amount, which is about more or less 1 to 2 pumps of the cleanser, and then I'm going to massage it all over my face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then I'm going to rinse it off again with lukewarm water, and in between I always like to work with a soft and fresh washcloth to remove the residue of the cleanser that I've been using, sunscreen and even makeup. It just makes sure that everything comes properly off. And then we're going to pat the skin dry. So let's go ahead and do this. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and remove the drops from the skin surface. So once you're done with your cleansing step and you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step, which is now the step of your vitamin C serum. Now your vitamin C serum may come in a little bottle where you have a pipette, and in this case you may want to go with 3 to 6 drops for your face and neck, or if your vitamin C comes with a pump, use between 1 to 2 pumps. Start off with 1 pump. If that's not enough, well then you always can add an additional pump to it for your face and neck. Generally speaking, you can say the thinner the texture of your vitamin C serum, the more you can use of it. The thicker, the stickier the texture, maybe the creamier the texture may be, the less product you need to use because you have more time to blend it evenly all over. What you really have to keep in mind is that you're not going to overdo it. Specifically, if you have either a vitamin C serum that contains ascorbic acid, if you're using too much of it, depending on the percentage, this can be quite irritating on the skin because you're working with too much product and the skin can feel quite overwhelmed. Same can apply with vitamin C derivatives, but the irritation factor may be more so with ascorbic acid. And the next point that I do want to make is the overall formulation. Usually if you have a vitamin C serum that's water-based, so it includes water, those are usually able to penetrate into the skin quite quickly. However, if you have an anhydrous solution or maybe an oil version of a vitamin C serum, well, those need more time to absorb into the skin. And so in this specific case, you may want to use a little bit less, still use enough so that you can evenly blend it all over, but you want to make sure that you're not going to overdo it. Otherwise, it's like going to longer sit on the skin surface or may not penetrate into the skin at all, which then later on can cause issues with maybe your moisturizer and or sunscreen, depending on when you're going to use it. So please keep the overall general guide in mind and adjust it accordingly. When applying your vitamin C serum, you can apply it all over your face and neck. If you're working with a higher percentage of ascorbic acid or maybe a vitamin C derivative, I recommend not using it on top of your eyelids, and please do not use it too close to the actual lower lash line or maybe to some extent the eye contour, depending on how sensitive the skin may be. Otherwise, it can lead to irritation. And make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, and if that's the case, rinse it immediately with water. Now with my example, I'm going to use Timeless Vitamin C Serum, and depending on your vitamin C and what it may also says on the back of the packaging, you need to give it a good shake before you're going to apply it to the skin, and you may also need to refrigerate it, specifically when working with ascorbic acid. So please keep this in mind when working with it, because it can oxidize quite quickly. Then rub your hands together and then evenly blend it all over. So, and once you're done with the application of your vitamin C serum, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now again, depending on the formulation, if it is a water-based vitamin C serum and it absorbs quickly into the skin, well then you can immediately move on to your moisturizing step afterwards. However, if you have a formulation, maybe as an anhydrous solution or an oil, and it takes a bit longer, well then just give it a few minutes in between before applying your moisturizer on top to make sure that there's as little residue left on the skin surface as possible before you're doing the next step. Now with the vitamin C that I have currently used, it absorbs pretty quickly into the skin. So now I'm going to move on to my moisturizing step. And I'm going to use the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors as an example. This can be another moisturizer as well. This can be lotion, gel, cream, richer cream, depending on your skin type and overall feel that you prefer. But overall, as a general guide on how much you should use about a bean size amount and then apply it all over your face and neck. Now, please do not overdo it. You do not need to have such a thick layer of your moisturizer on the skin surface. A little bit goes a long way. So once you're done with your moisturizer, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this is going to be the last step in your evening skincare routine. However, again, don't forget during daytime to follow with sun protection afterwards. Now, if you want to go over the example skincare routine again, and you want to know more about some additional information, such as the cleansing step, when it's important to do a double cleanse, a sunscreen guide, some product information that I have picked in my examples that I can recommend as a general guide, well, you will find all that information in the description box down below. You just need to click on the link, and you can even download the PowerPoint slides if you find them helpful. Now, if you want to learn more about skincare in general, you may also want to know how you can do a proper double cleanse or see how you can properly apply your sunscreen. Well, I have several videos for you at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching and learn more about it. If you enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!